Deep in the Malappuram district of Kerala, India, sits a farming region that appears entirely ordinary from the outside. But take a walk through the local schools, and you'll immediately notice a repeating pattern. The classrooms are filled with identical faces. This chart shows the scale of the anomaly. Across India, the national average is roughly 4 twin births per 1,000 deliveries. In Kodinhi, that rate jumps to 45. Looking closer at the data, the density becomes even more apparent. Within a small population of just 2,000 families, researchers have documented over 400 living pairs of twins. This isn't a statistical outlier. It is a concentrated biological mystery that is actively altering the demographics of the town. The local medical records indicate this shift isn't ancient history. It began roughly 60 to 70 years ago. Rather than normalizing over time, the frequency of identical twin births is actually increasing rapidly with each subsequent generation. The local biology is accelerating, and it is doing so without any known medical or environmental cause. In 2008, local doctor Krishnan Sribiju began the first systematic medical census of the town to determine the exact scope of the phenomenon. He quickly ruled out artificial insemination and IVF, as the treatments are prohibitively expensive for a rural farming community. This diagram outlines the standard baseline for mothers likely to birth twins: older women, taller than 5 feet 3 inches. But actual data from Kodinhi women falls completely outside this baseline. They average 5 feet in height and begin families in their late teens. Genetic inheritance doesn't fit the data either. Couples with zero family history of multiple births routinely have twins here, and the same occurs with outsiders who move into the village. Most baffling of all, women born in Kodinhi who leave the town to start families elsewhere continue to experience elevated twin birth rates. Because physical, genetic, and medical explanations have failed, researchers are now focusing on potential environmental triggers. Doctors hypothesized that something in the town was causing hyperovulation, a condition where a woman's body releases multiple eggs during a single cycle instead of one. International research teams arrived to test the local diet, running detailed analyses on the village's water supply and its staple crops of rice and coconuts. Teams from Germany and India conducted exhaustive chemical and biological tests on these samples. They found no significant anomalies. The investigation has reached a point of intense scientific frustration, leaving the village to manage this biological mystery on its own. Raising 2 infants simultaneously puts an immense logistical and financial strain on rural, single-income households. To manage the volume of multiples, the locals created their own civic institution, the Twins and Kin Association, or TACA. What began as a passive tracking database evolved into an active support network, pooling resources to help impacted families cover educational and medical costs. By organizing their efforts, the village took a demanding medical burden and built it into a shared identity and a source of civic pride. Kodinhi belongs to a small network of similar towns globally, including Candido Godoy in Brazil and Igbo Ora in Nigeria. For the international medical community, identifying the specific epigenetic trigger in these populations could provide the scientific foundation for treating global infertility. But while the global medical community continues to analyze these biological outliers for scientific salvation, the families of Kodinhi have now stopped waiting for an answer and learned to thrive within the mystery.